Hello everybody, Robo here from Entertainment Vending, bringing you a new video. Today I will be discussing how Nintendo is approaching graphics in the Switch era. When the Wii U launched, Nintendo began to take a different approach to graphics for their home console games. The Switch has so far seen an evolution of not just this approach, but also the approach taken on 3DS. The Wii U had great consistency in its graphics across first-party releases. Even though the hardware was limited, Nintendo's developers didn't make excuses, and they took advantage of what the console could do, and they bring their respective franchises into the HD world. This began at launch with New Super Mario Bros. U and the hugely underrated launch classic Nintendo Land. Nintendo Land gave Nintendo the chance to show what could be done on Wii U for a variety of Nintendo's franchises through a semi-theme park aesthetic. As you can see, they employed much higher level techniques than what was done on the Wii and the 3DS. New Super Mario Bros. U was less impressive due to it being a pretty conventional and honestly unambitious 2D platformer. But you can still see that effort went to the visual presentation of the game, with the pretty backgrounds and the nice effects for the flowing sand along with the crispness of the textures. It also all runs at a buttery smooth 60 frames per second. Nintendo did all this at launch. Obviously, as you get farther into a console's life, more impressive results begin to appear. So let's take a look at what was possible later on in the Wii U's short life. Mario Kart 8. A beautiful game on the Switch, but it was a beautiful game first on the Wii U. This game is decked out full force, with beautiful art all around you, coming in at 60 frames per second. The effects, textures, lighting, modeling, and animation are all top-notch. This game is some of Nintendo's graphics department's best. A nearly uncompromised product. Instead of simply taking Mario Kart 7's graphics and making them suitable for HD on the TV, they instead opted for the hard way out and pushed to achieve the best they possibly could, and they took Mario Kart into the next generation. This is what Nintendo should have continued with the Switch, and to a higher degree, since the Switch is indeed a much more powerful system than the Wii U. And for some of Nintendo's teams this has been done, but sadly not enough decided to continue this approach. Exhibit A, Kirby Star Allies. Now, I don't think this game looks bad, mind you, but I will not for a second believe this is the best HAL Laboratory could manage for Kirby on the Switch. The core skeleton of the game just looks cheap, as if it's a 3DS game. What makes this a Switch game is more just the add-ons onto the visual package than anything else. The game looked much worse when it was first revealed. Thankfully, the coding of the game's presentation has become much prettier by launch. The unimpressive geometry and overall lack of a really polished visual presentation take it down a peg. To make matters worse, the game only runs at 30 frames per second and cannot even manage a 1080p resolution. This shows either incompetence on HAL's part or that they just didn't care to optimize the game. Sadly, HAL isn't alone here. It feels like every Nintendo development team that is moving on from the 3DS and releasing Switch games falls into this trap. These games were more of the outliers in the Switch's first year, but now it feels like they're the trend, as the majority of first-party games on Switch now feel like they're coming from devs who focused mostly on 3DS games last gen. Just take a look at Link's Awakening, Animal Crossing New Horizons, Luigi's Mansion 3, and Pokemon Sword and Shield. I'm not saying these games look bad, but they surely aren't what you expected these franchises to look like on the Switch, or even the Wii U, are they? One game in particular on Switch gives me hope though, because it follows up on the approach taken with Mario Kart 8 very well, and it still stands as a model I think all other Switch games should follow. Super Mario Odyssey. This game is gorgeous. The visuals look even better than anything that was done on the Wii U, and it still runs at 60 frames per second and at a higher resolution than 3D World's 720p. The varied environments in Odyssey are surreal, and Mario's animation feels close to that of a feature film. You feel like you're on an epic adventure and are immersed into the world. Odyssey is not alone. Several other Switch games, like Super Mario Party, Splatoon 2, and Smash Ultimate, have inspired art direction and execution. I'm also not saying that the graphics of the games made by former 3DS devs were without merit. I only hope that they would veer a bit closer into the more ambitious techniques of their counterparts. Thank you all for watching, and I hope to bring you a new video soon. Goodbye.